Hello, Gelly Osofsky here, child and family therapist and founder of Parenting with Gelly. Here with Books with Gelly today, book reviews. I am in a solid Bernstein Bears mood. Don't ask me why, but I just got it. I went back into my office. I'm looking through the shelf and I'm like, yes, it's Bernstein Bears again. So today we are going to do the Bernstein Bears and the Messy Room. As a child, this story captivated my mind. The story of the mother who got enraged and she was flying things and flicking things all over the place. She was just totally out of control because the kids had messed up royally. And then dad comes in and saves the day with his sanity. And he builds these bookshelves and the thing on the wall for them to hang up their stuff. And garbage bags of old stuff get tossed out, and there's always a happy ending, which is so nice. Anyway, life is not always that way. You know that. So, when small beers forget to pick up, store, and stash, some of their favorite things end up in the trash. And it always starts with this perfect, just beautiful place in the countryside where everybody was living this perfect life, which, by the way, doesn't exist. The flower beds sparkled with red, yellow, and blue tulips. The woodwork was freshly painted and in good repair. The grass was cut. The vegetable patch was properly weeded. And even the bird's nest that perched on one of the treehouse branches was well trimmed. Amazing. And guess what? The Bernstein Bears played the piano. The kitchen was spanking clean. And the basement was neat and clean. How many of you have this kind of house? Just raise your hand right now. Okay? And if you have this kind of house, maybe something else is suffering as a result. I'm not saying it can't have both, but a house full of lively children, it ain't gonna look pristine and perfect unless that is the massive priority in the house over taking care of the kids, over doing other things. The problem was, in this beautiful house, it was a big flying mess in the room, in the kids' room. Everything was all over everywhere. And mom, she wasn't happy. And look at this sour-faced mom. I can just go back to being a 10-year-old even and reading this again. And I come from a big family and I always like to keep my room clean, but I certainly, with a lot of little kids in the house, there's always stuff on the floor, and we tried to help out as we got older, just to keep the house running. So yeah, I relate to a messy playroom, and it's not a bad thing necessarily. It's just part of having a family. So, but what happened here is the kids start quarreling. Now, did that happen in your house growing up? Is it happening now? Part of growing up too. And mommy would clean, and sometimes not so happily that happens too, right? We kind of give off that attitude that we really don't want to clean up, but fine, we'll do it. But here she got into a huff and bought a big box and just started throwing things. Okay. Now we're out of control. Problem. And the kids got scared. This is not what we want. And so, as I say, dad listens in. He comes to save the day. And quiet! And they figure it all out magically. Not the way it typically happens in homes, but we can get a little example from them. And kids love when you read this book, because it's like, oh, it happens in other houses too, even with the bears. They bring the toy box, some shelves, and they create this beautiful, beautiful place, spend hours and hours lining up everything till the world is all in order again. The end. Happy ending, everybody. Okay. Does your house look like this? That's, of course, an ideal. But if you've got happy kids, you are going to have stuff laying around. And what I like to do is the end of the week before Shabbos, before my Sabbath, whatever's laying around we like to put together and put away so we don't accumulate too much mess. All right, what's your favorite Bernstein Bears story? Talk to you soon.